Mark Dice is our guest. You know, I remember Mark Dice, I guess on the show like 10, 12 years ago, whatever, doing his work, media analyst, degrees in that, salesman as well, author. And I remember just telling him, man, I'm not being patronizing, I'm just saying this is an example of where I was right. I said, stop trying to have shows on national TV. They're always going to censor you. And he's had some shows on national TV and hosted some things. And I remember getting really depressed like 4 or 5 years ago about it and getting mad at me about things or whatever. And I remember calling him and I said, you're one of the most talented people I know. If you'll just start doing stuff every day and just forget about trying to be a success, because I've been like this too. Everybody has. This is somebody trying to help somebody who's a little bit older than them. Not that I have all the answers. And I said, if you'll just do it, because I know you care, you'll be super successful because you're so smart and do a great job. But don't get mad at me for the fact that, you know, in some of our dealings, you've not had as much success as you'd like. And I don't mean to bring up personal stuff here on the air. It's just that I'm so proud of the fact that he's almost got 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And he's brought all these books back into print and has bestsellers and, you know, has done so much because look at Paul Watson. Paul Watson, I mean, I can tell you, almost reaches as many people as I do now. Okay. And I hope Paul gets way better than I do. See, here's the deal. I'm not in competition with other men that I be better than them at everything. I want to defeat people that are out to get us all. I'm in a total war against the New World Order. And I know we can beat them. And so I just wanted to take some time out and talk about Mark because, you know, Mark just, you know, he's branched out and he's doing these commentaries and these analysis that are just the best things out there. I mean, it's so... When you see something so good, so on spot, way better than what's on, you know, any mainstream media, and I don't just mean content-wise, but just wit-wise and everything, it's a good thing. And that's why I want to encourage other people, no matter what color you are or where you came from, you know, if you're an old man, you get your nephew or your, you know, your grandson to, you know, put you on YouTube, just sit out by the pond and talk about the world. The normal people speaking out in this whole internet village system is what will beat them. Because they're bringing the censorship now. They're admitting it. They're announcing it. It's getting bad. And that's why, whether it's Drudge or, you know, whether it's Daily Caller or WorldNet Daily or Breitbart, I'm not in competition with Stephen Bannon. And I'm not going to talk about little discussions we've had. I think, I mean, I hope Breitbart gets 10 times bigger than InfoWars. In fact, I don't want to be the biggest thing out there. And after Drudge, you know, when it comes to multimedia, we're the biggest thing there is. 40, 50 million people a week conservatively. And folks, that's conservative. Some weeks, 90+ million now. Okay? So you look at that responsibility. That's a big responsibility we've got. When you think about how evil these people are, it makes you better. Because then you think, I don't want to be like them. I want to be strong and true. I want to be a knight in shining armor. I really want to take these people on because they mean to break this country and this world once and for all. And Mark, of course, has all the famous videos, the hundreds of millions of views, showing dumbed-down lefties. I mean, that is bullied, dumbed-down people told they have no responsibility from birth, do whatever you want, just wander around. They're almost soulless, and we don't make fun of them for pleasure. We do it because they're so fallen, we're scared, but they only care about what peers think because they're bullied. They never get past age 5 in peer pressure, so you have to laugh at them because that's what they don't like. You ever have leftists come over to you in D.C. or wherever I'm at, and they'll go, like 20 of them will laugh at me, and I'm like, you think I'm in junior high? Like where people are laughing at me and I care? Dude, by the time I was like 14, I wasn't dating high school girls no more. I wanted out of high school. When I was in middle school, I wanted in high school. I don't care what you think about me when you're in a loser cult that has nothing, that means nothing, that is nothing, and you want to make me a loser too? And you've been given a psychological virus by the globalists? I want to go to Mark. We just played his powerful new clip, you know, analyzing this press conference yesterday that was bullies coming face to face with somebody, just calling them out, and they are in total and complete panic right now. So, Mark, you know, just amazing to see where things are going. Again, your new video, you know, reporters are absolutely panicking. Trump toys with reporters at press conference today. They're at markdice.com. We've linked it up on Infowars.com. I want to just, in the brief time we have, talk about where you see the world today, but also how they're going to counter-strike back and how do we mobilize and fight the billions Soros is putting in and Obama's organizing to really go next level and try to bully us physically into submission in the streets and at the colleges and the schools, but on cyberspace. I mean, I think we should really raise the alarm and really fight harder than we did even during the election because that was a battle. The war's here.
Yeah, we've sort of stormed the city. We're inside the gates. The real battle has begun. And with the mainstream media being so desperate, we're seeing them, I mean, really almost their last breaths. And they're going to do everything they can to try to regain the foothold that they've had, which is why Facebook is rolling out their new censorship tools. Twitter has been doing it more and more incrementally, announced some new tools now. They're trying to prevent people's tweets from showing up to those who don't follow them so that it doesn't spread across platforms, so that you can't have your message seen by someone who's not in the same, someone who's outside of the same bubble as you. And Trump is right to be mocking the mainstream media. And he wasn't yelling at them. He wasn't screaming. He wasn't unhinged like all these phonies.
Because that's their tool. That's the key. Their tool is mocking at a junior high level. It doesn't get to us or him, but it gets to them.
And they should be mocked. CNN did a report. It was an investigation about whether Adele won the Grammy for Best Album this year over Beyonce because of the possible racist Grammy voters. That was a real headline on CNN. When I saw the tweet, I thought maybe this has to be like a parody Twitter account. But no, that's a real CNN story, is that they think that the Beyonce, beloved Beyonce, lost the Grammy because of white supremacists or the white privilege of Adele. And they're so crazy when we see.
Well, it's the same thing with the NFL. I mean, they said that was white supremacy because there was a few white players.
Yeah, they're upset about the supposed lack of diversity on the Patriots team, and that the Patriots win was symbolic of the white, hegemony in this country. And they deserve to be mocked, and they're failing. And that's why my YouTube channel has almost 1 million subscribers. It's amazing, just sitting in my kitchen. I reach more people in most videos.
The average CNN show has 100,000 viewers. You reach millions every day.
And that's extended over their entire half-hour or hour show. So if you break down their segments into 3 or 4 or 5 minute segments, I mean, we're paralleling. My channel is paralleling CNN and MSNBC. Jake Tapper and I got into a Twitter beef months ago, and I just did a video about it, and almost 1 million people watched the video. More people watched my YouTube video analyzing Jake Tapper and I's beef on Twitter than actually watch.
That's right. And of course, they know they're nothing now. That's why they're really so pissed. So where do they go from here? It's not about, oh, my channel's big, your channel's big. We're not bragging. We're telling listeners their whole illusion is that, we don't get press passes. We're not real news when they're the fake stream news. You probably already heard that term. I just came up with myself, but found people were already using it. Any good idea is already out there usually. So I don't territorialize it. But fake stream news, isn't that the name? Because they're fake, but they're the mainstream. Then we associate the term fake with fake stream. I think that's the word.
And I can't wait for President Trump to call CNN the counterfeit news network or the clown news network. And we just have to keep sticking it to them. The CNN got so upset with people calling them fake news that they conducted a study to try to see if the term fake news was damaging their brand. And of course, they.
Oh no! I mean, that's why if people say fake news on there, even Bernie Sanders is a joke, they cut his feed. It's an order that if somebody says that, you cut their feed.
The mainstream media.
They've already been destroyed. Their brand is already filled. Don't they get that?
No, they don't. We have a YouTuber, PewDiePie, who is the most popular YouTuber ever. 53, maybe 54 million subscribers.
And CNN fake news brought him down.
Yeah, a coordinated attack between the Wall Street Journal and other major media outlets trying to smear him as a white supremacist. We have tech magazines like Wired, which have been going political in the last year and a half, trying to bring down Trump with stories that have nothing to do with politics or tech or with tech whatsoever. They're just literally tech magazines, sports magazines, ESPN, Deadspin. All these non-political outlets are becoming political in stories that really have nothing to do with what their core readership is. And so the mainstream media trying to smear PewDiePie as a hero of white supremacists, that was a real headline on a Wired.
Well, they just wanted to set the precedent to ban somebody who was #1 to test. Can we ban someone completely innocent, who I think puts out a bunch of crap drivel, but it's certainly not even anywhere near racist? I mean, can we shoot down somebody who has tens of millions of kids watching him every day? We don't want that. We want to teach them how to be trannies and give blowjobs and commit suicide and hate themselves. We don't want them watching this guy. They were just jealous of him because he wasn't teaching them how to commit suicide. And so they said, how do we get the kids back with us learning how to commit suicide? So they banned him.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never see BuzzFeed have any of their videos censored or have the ads stripped. And for well over a year, even a year before it became common knowledge that YouTube was censoring ads, us YouTubers in the alternative news community knew that this was happening, but it wasn't until a bigger YouTuber decided to talk about it or became aware of it that it started trending on social media. So we were a year ahead of the curve seeing the censorship, trying to strip ads from our channels because they don't want us to be able to be funded in order to do this. And that's one way at them trying to censor us.
Sure, and that's why I've been telling you, and you've been doing this for years, you know it yourself, yeah, books are great, but people don't buy a lot of books, put out a film, do whatever, have a coffee mug, whatever. People understand they're trying to strangle us. So you just say, hey, I got a couple products here. You can maybe give a coffee mug to somebody. They'll tune into the show, $10. I make $5. I need your support if I'm going to do this. People get that. They want to support you. So I've just been saying for years, get some swag, because Marcus, people want to support you. I want to see you with a whole operation. I want to see you, rivaling InfoWars.
It's been really amazing, and it just goes to show that with dedication and hard work and with a mission, you can become an incredible success. And there was a time where I thought, oh, nobody's watching my videos. Oh,
no, I remember talking to you like 4 years ago, and I'm not trying to brag about this, but was my pep talk not right?
Yeah, it was great, man. And you've been a great inspiration for me, and you've paved the path. It's been amazing to watch your career expand and really.
But I don't want to get into me. I want to talk about you because you're the kind of a prodigal son for a little while. And I'm just saying, it's good to set an example of not being, kind of a chicken, on my end, if turn on the other cheek. But that's all the Bible. There's times to do it, times to not. But I'm not bragging about what I did. I just really value you in the fight against the globalists. We need you. And I'm just glad you got out of that. For other people that get into infighting and that virus they try to push on trolling on the web against ourselves, we've got to get through that because people think that's the path of success when you don't have immediate, success to take care of yourself, which you're doing this because you love the truth, but you need to be able to take care of yourself, and so I get it. But I was just saying, truly be yourself. Quit trying to have a show on national TV. You will be huge. You did it, and you went from huge to gigantic. So I'm just saying, your testimony to other people out there about the path to real success fighting tyranny.
When I had meetings I literally had a meeting with CNN.
No, they called you in and said, we want you to pledge to Satan. No, I've been there when I was 14. I know. So they tell them, they call you and they say, we want you to worship Satan and be part of the group. No, I get it. Tell folks about that.
Well, a couple years ago, I had meetings with most of the major networks about, hosting a show, an investigative, kind of conspiracy type of a show. And one of the heads of one of the major studios, we got into a spiritual discussion, and he did overtly indicate that he liked Satan. He thought Satan was the savior. And I'm sitting there, they're so surreal. The Hollywood sign is literally right out the window in his office. Just, you could see it off in the back. It was so bizarre. And I had a meeting with CNN, and later on the studio started telling me, and of course I never would have went to work with them. I even told the studio, which is, for those who don't know, studios are independent companies that produce shows for networks and then sell them to networks. So CNN didn't really know what they were getting into. It was just a meeting with another studio pitching a show to their network. So I went there. And it was so bizarre. I only went because I wanted to be able to laugh at it. And I took pictures in the boardroom with CNN etched into the walls, into the windows. And this is in Hollywood. Now, for those people don't expect CNN.
By the way, this was after you woke up to the fact that you before you weren't like wanting to be part of it. You were just investigating it, and it was kind of a bummer. But because I remember this was after you'd already totally didn't want to be with them. You just went because it was interesting. And again, Fox News does this. They have thousands of people on retainer to be analysts, but only to control them and not have them on air. It's the same thing. Hollywood has these constant meetings just to keep artists in Hollywood not competing with them, and they call it a tithe. They go, let's go to this tithe meeting with these people to steal your ideas and then never give you anything and then never make you successful. But so you stay there and don't create your own art elsewhere. See, it's all a very ward out plan. Go ahead.
And how interesting is it, for those who don't know, that CNN has probably a 12-story building in Hollywood. I'm talking about 2 blocks away from Hollywood Boulevard. So you would expect CNN to be in New York or in Atlanta or Washington, D.C. They have I would estimate a huge 12.
Well, it's really a branch of the CIA that's been declassified. So they're there to write scripts for Hollywood. That's really what's going on in most of those rooms. But go ahead.
And the old media, the mainstream media, I mean, they're really at a loss because the technology that we have is so inexpensive and so powerful that someone like me or someone like PewDiePie, who produces, idiotic, mindless entertainment for kids and, teenagers, are able to, with a very small budget, virtually nothing, produce content that is seen by millions and hundreds of millions of people. They don't know what to do. And so even the producer that I was working with, he's trying to get into the YouTube space now because he doesn't even want to waste his time putting together a show that might get seen by 500,000 or 1 million people on a major network when you can just sit in your kitchen and produce content. And that's why they're trying to bring down PewDiePie. They're trying to bring down me. The New York Times just did a hit piece, an entire article almost entirely dedicated to me about fake news. And I've seen the London Guardian.
No, and I mean, what you do is commentary, oh, I was all over the news last week. Alex Jones said the performance was satanic. Well, it was clearly authoritarian satanic. She wears Hitler outfits, at other events. Most of the Super Bowls are satanic. They're like, oh, they're crazy. It's not satanic, thinking their audience is idiotic. Everybody knows the Grammys and, the Emmys and just it's all satanic.
I mean, it's quite clear that that's the core of liberalism is godlessness or Satanism. I mean, quite literally, they openly
Hillary's pen pal and her mentor she met with, pledged his book to Lucifer and his love of Luciferianism. Saul Alinsky. They just look. I've been there. I've been at the mansions. I've been there, and they go, yes, we worship Lucifer. It's the real God. Join us. You can have all these women and all the power. And people don't know until you get successful. Well, they saw me before that and wanted me, but when you get successful, they come. And people just don't understand this. Go ahead.
And that's why Kanye West had his, supposed mental breakdown where he started ranting and raving at one of
about the Illuminati and devil worship. Yeah.
The news, he said the news is all censored. Google is censored. I mean, they're now, because of the election loss of Hillary, they're rolling out all of the stuff that they've been testing. They're getting ready to implement it so that if you just simply Google things.
Oh, yeah, they're shaking. They're shaking. And they're going to bring the censorship in when they kill Trump. So they're lining up like about to start World War II. The armies are lining up right now, folks. So we got to have maximum alert. But in the time we have, I mean, are you not overall, though, optimistic and positive that nationalism and the awakening is huge? And I mean, so the more they use AI and manipulation on us, which they admit they're doing, the more it just accelerates those of us that are awake. Those that follow the programming, it's very sad, but, they were the weak ones. And we try to help them. We don't abuse the weak ones. It's just sad we can't get too obsessed and triage, when people fall to this. When people die before they physically die, we mourn their death, but they're no longer alive. They're just zombies.
We're seeing a massive resurgence of conservatism because you have a lot of the Generation Z kids who have been growing up watching this insane censorship of people telling them that they can't wear certain Halloween costumes, they can't say certain things, they can't like a certain political candidate that half of the country likes. And they're starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And so we're seeing a huge resurgence of conservatism amongst the younger generations. And a lot of them are taking to YouTube. A lot of them are going to be the future, conservative YouTube stars. And it is very exciting. And the battle's really just getting started. But the left is getting so desperate that we have to just continue to mock them because I think
that's right, though. But we have a tendency to not be victims, to not complain. We're all being censored and blocked. Trump doesn't get positive comments in his Twitter, so the public can't even communicate with him. You have to pose as an enemy, with almost code words to even get up there to talk to him. So I mean, sometimes Trump just calls folks off Twitter, folks. He's amazing. He loves the average people. Growing up with his dad, they barbecue and stuff with the workers every day, and they hung out with the guys. He's got street smarts. I mean, he's like the blue-collar billionaire, and that's why they hate him. He really likes people, and the globalists have nothing but disdain because they haven't been in the streets like Trump has. But I've invited you before. You're so busy. I'll fly you out here. You co-host for a couple days. I'm not trying to get somebody to fill in for me. I got plenty of hosts. But I'd love for you to come out here, Mark, and we're going to launch more stuff soon. I'd love for you to have your own daily show here if you wanted to do it. I'll just say that on air. We got a lot of things we're planning that we're not here, being interrupted by me every 10 seconds. So let's just get this done because you were talking about some ideas I heard, with Nico. We'll just come here, come on air. We'll fly out here and, get you involved somehow with what we're doing because we really appreciate your work and where this is going. But I got to tell you, I'm really glad we all bet on Trump because you can really see he's the real deal.
Hasn't let us down yet, and it's going to be a really exciting ride. Every day he's continuing to keep his promises, and it's hilarious to see the left completely fall apart and collapse. They have no argument, which is why they're getting crazy and they're getting violent. And
you know what? I got to hold you over. Can you do 5 more minutes? Because I just forgot something. You started calling yourself the Resistance. I mean, I'd called it that too, but you branded it as that kind of a Terminator deal. If you're listening to this, you're the Resistance. That's good. I'll say that too. I've been saying that for 15 years, whatever, 10 years. I forget, but they're now saying we're the Resistance, we're the Resistance. The big corporate media, the Saudi Arabians, the Chinese, the EU, the mega banks, they're all the whole media attacking Trump and us, and they're the Resistance. So you're the guy that first really started using that. I want to ask you when we come back, Mark Dice, markdice.com. And people say, oh, that's just his website. We go to his YouTube or Facebook. He doesn't control it. They can take it away at any time. Go to his website. Get on his email list. Us, too. Just, again, I'm going to talk about that, too, when we come back. Because how do we really get folks to truly come together so they can't censor us? I've got a plan. I want to hear what Mark thinks. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.